Good morning and welcome to this regular session of the Grant County Commissioners. The recess has ended. If you would please stand. The prayer will be led by Commissioner Poling with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Stewart.
Lord Jesus, we come to you this day. We ask you to guide us, help us make the right decisions for this county and this country. We ask for your blessings. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Please face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. You should have received the claims report in front of you. We're looking at a ratification. Pre-approval was given 3/10/2025. The general fund, $644,077.85. Other, $58,046.38. The highway, $2,512.22. Bringing the grand total to $704,636.45. We also have today's claims dated 3/17/2025 for approval. General fund, $169,772.38. Other, $137,132.84. And within the highway, $45,605.52. Are there any questions regarding the claims? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I'd mentioned the grand total.
Oh, yeah, the grand total for today's claims, $352,510.74.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion that we approve the ratification that was dated 3/7/2025 and approval for claims dated today 3/17/2025.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Stewart, a second from Commissioner Poling to approve claims dated 3/7/2025 as well as 3/17/2025. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll move on to a pre-approval of a claim that come up and it needs ratified. The approval date was 3/5/2025. The claim amount was $2,785.42 to Wagner Metal Sales. Are there any questions regarding that individual claim as far as a ratification? If there are none, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Stewart, a second from Commissioner Poling to approve the pre-approved claim dated 3/5/2025 to Wagner Metal Sales. If there's no other questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll move on to payroll. Payroll number 6, pre-approving was given 3/11/2025. The pay date was 3/14/2025. The gross amount was $686,000, $632.83.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Poling, a second from Commissioner Stewart to pre-approve, pre-approval was given 3/11/2025 to ratify payroll number 6. If there's no other questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll move on to minutes, gentlemen. You should have in front of you the minutes from the executive session of January the 22nd, 2025. There was also another executive session, January 22nd, 2025. Executive session, January the 31st, 2025, and another January executive session, the 31st, 2025. as well as an executive session February the 25th, 2025. Are there any questions or comments regarding the executive session minutes? If there are none, I entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Pulling, a second from Commissioner Stewart to approve the executive session minutes as presented. 2 from January the 22nd, 2 from January the 31st, and 1 from February the 25th. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have received a monthly report in our packet from the Clerk of the Courts, Grant County's Clerk, Circuit Court, Superior Courts. It's a SBOA, State Board of Accounts report, form number 46. I believe, is this submitted for the bank?
It's month ending January 31, 2025.
Okay,
I believe we just showed as received.
That's correct.
just show this receipt. Are there any questions or comments?
Yes, sir.
We'll show it as received. We'll move on to communication and board updates. Are there any elected officials in the room that want to address the commissioners? Any boards? Special committees? We'll move on to the EMA report. Mr. Jackson.
Good morning.
Morning.
So we had quite an eventful week last week with the wind and dry conditions. Several field fires, one of them resulting, at least one resulting in a structure fire within the county. So it is still extremely dry, even given the rain we had this weekend. The topsoil dry, plant vegetation is dry. So with the winds, we're expected again this week, at least on Wednesday. We just want to remind the public that, use some extreme caution when open burning and attend those fires. Unfortunately, there was a fatality in Madison County just across the county line resulting from an unattended burn barrel. So that's just how dangerous it is. So we just want to remind the public of that. And then the weather on Saturday morning, we did have a barn struck by lightning. It was the only damage that we had from storms in the area that day. So most of the severe stuff stayed in south of us. And that is all I have unless you have some questions.
All right, any questions?
So there's not an official burn ban. We're just asking
No.
to use common sense.
Yeah, it takes some time to do that, and it takes some signatures from the commissioners. If we know it's going to be long-term, we don't mind doing that, but we're hoping the winds die down and soil does continue to get some moisture in it. We shouldn't have to resort to that, but we're keeping that gun in the holster right now. So.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move on to Central Dispatch report. I know Mr. Hicks had a call off, so he wasn't going to be here for his report today. He's not online as well, so we'll move on to the IT report.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Morning.
All right, I got a couple items with me today. So, you spoke with Kevin, so he's not able to be here. He did ask me if I would present his proposal from CM Buck and Associates.
Perfect.
So,
That is later, I'm sorry, that is later in the agenda.
Yeah.
Number 7.
If you want to go ahead and talk about it, that'd be great now.
yeah, absolutely. So, over the last 5 years, we've worked with CM Buck and Associates. They've helped us do preventative maintenance on the battery backup system over in Central Dispatch. And that battery backup, that just ensures none of the devices in our server room or out in dispatch goes offline during an outage. It just gives the generator enough time to kick on in the event of a power outage or something like that, or a brownout. So with CM Buck, this is just a 1-year proposal for them to come out and do preventative maintenance on it. And they also provide technical support and monitor the device for any issues. And that cost is $4,539.
I believe it's for replacement of a battery backup.
Yeah,
I mean,
correct.
It's an APC, a battery backup, and at that $4,539, that the whole battery backup's going to be replaced. Is that correct? Or is it just service?
I think it's just service.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just services. So that battery backup, it was put in roughly 2020. It was right around the time Central Dispatch went live. So most battery backups, they generally tend to last maybe 5, 6, 7 years. So its life is coming up, so that might be something we have to look at replacing here either next year or the year after that. Because otherwise your support, the cost for it will just continue to go up, and eventually it'll go over what the amount would be for a new one.
Did this price increase over last year, do you know?
I don't believe so, but I mean, this is the first time I've looked at it since Kevin. It comes out of Kevin's budget, so I wouldn't know that for sure.
Okay.
Kevin didn't mention anything about any increases or anything like that.
Are there any other questions or comments regarding the CM Buck and Associates quote?
It looks like last year they paid $39.7.
Is this something that the previous attorneys looked at?
This is the one I looked into, right?
You did?
Yes, there's no issue.
We've done, this is a renewal from last year.
Okay.
And I think the year before.
Yeah, this is the same company we've been with ever since the system was put in.
Yeah, so it's just, we're just renewing it, but it looks like, sounds like the prices went up about $600.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, it's kind of typical with, UPSs, eventually the models get, I mean, they're only good for like 5, 6, 7 years. So.
It looks like the parts are included.
Yes, so I think the only thing
That's
is,
the batteries, I guess, but
yeah,
I'd entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Poling, a second from Commissioner Stewart to approve the CM Buck agreement regarding the battery backup at Central Dispatch. Are there any other questions or comments from the members? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, move on to your.
yep, this one is kind of a follow-up. So I brought up the lease program for the printers and copiers. So we went to go purchase the accessories last time, I think, and you gentlemen wanted us to get back with the copier folks and to double check everything and make sure we had our I's dotted and our T's crossed. And I worked with our rep, Dave Rapp, which he's here today, and he reconfigured the program. So he consolidated all the leases into one. And he also included some additional discounts and stuff in this new proposed program. So Dave, I don't know if you want to come up and kind of break it down for them, or just kind of explain what all you did.
Good morning. Sorry I wasn't able to make the last meeting. So basically at one point you had 5 different. You guys had 5 different leases over 5 different years. Got kind of messy and wonky. That's how some of the equipment got left off of the previous agreement. So this agreement will take and remedy that situation or get the needed accessories for the previous lease devices. This is also, it's called a co-term lease, so it's taking the new stuff that we need, there's 7 or 8 copiers and just a few printers, and we're gonna bring that all into one lease. We co-term it to 55 months so that at the end of that 55 months, everything's together. You have a wide format, large format up in planning. We're not looking to replace that. We're also not looking to replace every single desktop printer upstairs and on the individual desks. Those will be replaced as needed, or we will look and say, okay, yes, this is a necessary device, we'll keep it, or no, we'll just have them go to the closest copier and use that. So this would be monthly payment of $1520.91. That'll go on top of the lease that was started in September. And then that will cover everything you've got. And you're still at a zero base, so you guys just get charged per click. You don't get charged like a maintenance fee of a certain amount, and then any overages, you guys just pay what you use.
Are there any questions or comments from the members?
Do you know what the lease rate is on this?
With the co-term, it's like 2.5, somewhere there, 2.5.
1520.91 at 55 months is $83,650.
So there is a cash buyout option to where that's $60,594.14. That would also cover the devices, and you wouldn't have the bank fees, the interest rate on top of that.
I know when we met,
I'm gonna pay for it outright.
we talked about the lease term.
Yeah, correct.
What did you say it was, 2.5?
Yeah, it's somewhere between 2 and 2.5. Because we went back to the bank 2 or 3 different times, marking it down, getting it down. So
What's the other lease payment that we have?
I don't know what it's
What's the price on it?
40, what is it monthly, 4,000 something for the one that we just did in September.
I believe so, yes.
So this would be an additional 1520.
I know you worked the figures pretty hard to get the
We did.
discounts.
So you're looking with everything we've got. You're looking about a 40% discount on equipment from the government. Yeah. So you get government pricing there, and then just in what Applied could do too with our buying power and what we were going with. It just everything marks down roughly about 40% off of what you would normally pay. If you were just buying one machine at that, then it would be about 40% higher.
I know you worked, you and Marcus worked really hard to get the discounts.
Well, I think when we first met, it was going to be around 1,800, and we went back to the bank again and said, we need more. So we got it down to 15.
Well, I'm fine with the lease payment. I'm fine with continuing to work with your company. What is the buyout? I mean, you're saying the buyout's the 60, but we can get out of that at any time.
Well, the easy thing with you, since you guys did the dollar out version, you would just basically, we would figure out what it would take to pay off that dollar amount, and then it would be that. So it's your payment by how many ever months it would be, and then you would just pay it out if you needed to get out of it. Hopefully that's not the case.
Are there any terms and conditions?
It's the same T's and C's as the previous that was reviewed back in September. Since we're co-terming it, it all goes back to that original agreement, the way that they had that set up.
Well, this is paid for out of the commissioner's budget.
Yeah, commissioners have a line item for it.
So that 1520 would be one addition.
Which I think originally in the last lease it was closer to $8,000 a month, wasn't it?
Yeah.
$6,000 or $8,000.
Yeah.
So we were still saving some off the last lease from 6 years ago when that started.
Yeah, it was 2018, 2019 when we met with
Dan.
Yeah.
Definitely to open my eyes on, what it takes to print paper in this county.
Yeah.
And I thought, we was gonna go paperless at some point, right? And Save the trees. It's not looking that way.
Yeah,
But I know you've worked hard at eliminating the personal copiers. I think we're
Yeah.
down to the bare bones on those. I
Right.
think that, you know,
yeah.
obviously it's cheaper to print from a copier, you know, a central
Yeah, and so
source.
the software that you guys run as well, we'll monitor that and take care of that for you too. So we're looking at 10%, industry-wide when we use that software. We anticipate a 10% savings in print by not using the smaller devices when you can use a bigger copier that's cheaper to operate.
Yeah, the software he's referring to is.
Paper cut?
Paper cut.
Yeah, paper cut, and
Yep.
if an employee hits the print button and it's a certain number of pages,
Yep.
hey, it'd be cheaper to
It's
send
going
it
to
to.
calculate it and send it over to the copier, not even allow them to run it off the printer. Correct. And that will also, so like the desktop printers, a lot of people, you know, the argument is we need to have a secure print, we need to print it ourselves. With this software, it will allow you to send it to the copier and wait until the person comes up and puts their code in, so it is a secure print still.
My only concern is we're paying about $420 a month in interest. That seems high.
I mean, the other choice would be to you'd go to the council to ask for the funds to buy it out or outright, or.
Yeah, that's what I would prefer, but I'm good with it if you guys are. I have a little heartburn over that amount of interest each month.
I agree.
Can you lose any service agreement? You can pay it outright,
I don't think so.
maintenance.
Well, you'd still have the cost of the black and white and color impressions of the
Yeah,
fee.
your overages.
Yeah, your maintenance would still, we would just have a separate maintenance agreement if you bought it out. So there's no penalty there's no benefit penalty to owning versus leasing as far as the maintenance goes.
So we do have the option to buy it for $60,594, a one lump sum.
Correct.
Or the lease, a 55-month lease of $15,2094.
Correct. Yep. Basically, you take the bank's hands out of it when you buy it outright.
Marcus, I'm guessing you don't have 60 grand laying around?
No, unfortunately I don't. I mean, I do have extra funds in my equipment, but that was funds I got approval from the council for the new computers for that lease that will be going into that.
And you would like to move forward with the monthly lease arrangement?
Yes, I would. I mean, they've done a really good job with this. I know this was one situation that wasn't, probably, it was the first time we've had any type of issue.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it could be one of those things like when we go and at the end of the lease, maybe we can, you know, look at, you know, working with the council and, you know, with those new machines and getting those outright. So that way we're not dealing with the bank.
And just the reason we didn't lump this all in the last one is because there was too much term left on the original lease. That buyout would have added to that original cost. It would have just been way higher. More interest, more equipment fees. So you would have had to pay that off to get, so it would have been probably another 20 or 30,000 on top of this to get all that back then. So now that the terms are shorter, it's a little bit easier.
Where would this be paid from? The current lease is paid out of CCD.
Does the commissioners have a copier line item or? I know we used to. I guess I'm looking at it as we approved the lease payment and the terms and accept the service and know that there's an agreement in place that it could be bought out at any time. I'm fine with approving it today to move forward, just to clear that, get everything implemented, get the old removed.
Yeah.
And that we're moving forward in a timely fashion.
Yeah, and this, it also included the removal of some older machines that were left down.
All that stuff in the basement we'll take with us. That's all in here.
So if we do enter into this lease agreement, we can at any time buy it out for the 60 grand, or are we locked into the lease?
It'll be whatever the payments are.
Right.
So if you have, you have 1,520, you'll just have to buy that out for the term of the 55 months. So you're still spending that 80 if you do it that way.
questions?
If not, I'd entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Polling, a second from Commissioner Stewart to approve the purchase lease program with the copiers as presented. Are there any other questions from the members? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thanks again, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there, Dave, was there anything you needed from the commissioners that we signed or?
Whoever's, to sign the paperwork, that's just who I need to meet with after.
Oh, after?
Yeah, I can
Okay.
do it whenever. Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks again, gentlemen.
Next up is the Highway Department report. Mr. White.
Good morning.
Morning.
The first thing I was going to bring up today, I presented just in front of you guys this morning, I laid a copy of a letter that we received from Indiana Department of Transportation. The county was awarded $943,957.50 for community crossing grant. This is for the 3 roads that we applied for 2025. So I guess I'd also like you to accept the contract. Once I get it all approved, then I can sign off on the DocuSign for that amount. If you guys would make a motion to accept that, it'd be appreciated, so.
No, congratulations. I mean, obviously, anytime that we can get community crossing grants, it's awesome.
Yep.
I appreciate your effort on that part. I mean, you've done an exceptional job year after year for the county. 943,000 is no small dollar amount today.
No,
So,
we'll have to match it, but we'll get almost approximately 7-8 miles paved and restriped and everything else, so that'll be good for the county. So.
good.
Being a federal contract, I'm assuming you have no issue. Yeah, they wouldn't change it anyway for us, unfortunately. They just said, if you want to change it, we'll take our money elsewhere too. So you just gotta be ready to go with it.
So I'd entertain a motion to accept the draft or accept the fees as presented as well. And allow Mr. White to sign that document.
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Polling, a second from Commissioner Stewart to allow Mr. White to accept the bids and approve him signing the document on our behalf. Are there any other questions from the members? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
And to go along with that, if it's all right, I'd like to set the bid date at your April 21st meeting for those 3 projects. Get that advertised and sent out to contractors to hopefully get a bid for that, if that's all right with you gentlemen.
It's fine with me.
Also, I gave you gentlemen a copy of our liquid and asphalt bids from 2023. Those contractors have said, they did this last year, they just extended their bid from 2023. Both contractors said they would like to do it again, if you gentlemen are all right with it. The only thing I'm afraid of is if we go bid it out again, they'll probably go up double kind of price kind of thing. So if you guys are fine with awarding that again to them, I would be much likely to get a letter from them saying they would continue their prices from 2023 if that's good with you gentlemen.
Yeah, me too.
Any questions or concerns from the legal counsel?
No, right now, if you were to rebid them again, I can get submissions, to tell you the truth. I know there's a shortage of that right now. And as long as it's, you can do it up to 3 years. So this is after 25, we want to rebid it out at that point in time. But I think if you can secure a decent rate right now, you get a much better spot than otherwise.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
A motion from Commissioner Pullen, second from Commissioner Stewart to accept the bids for the asphalt. And what else is there?
Just asphalt and liquid asphalt.
Liquid asphalt?
Yes.
Yeah. Are there any other questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I'm looking into trying to maybe get on the state salt bid. I have to have it in by this Friday. Some of the stipulations that kind of, if you do go with the state bid, you have to take 80% of what you quoted. So if you say you're going to take 1,500 ton, you got to take 80% of it, whether you use it or not. That's the only kind of dilemma that I've always had in the past, is because in the past, if we didn't use it, we didn't have to take it, kind of thing. The only thing is this year I have not got my salt barn filled back up. So if I did, I'd probably right off the beginning of the year next year fill it up, kind of thing. So I guess I'm going to make a few more emails and stuff like that to ask a few more questions, but I might try to go on it this year. I know this year we paid $96 a ton and the state bid was $79 a ton. So we'll save some money, but like I said, the only thing is you have to take at least 80%, and the most you can get is 120%. So,
Does salt go bad sitting in the barn, or?
you got to kind of mix it, or it'll get real chunky, and it won't feed through the trucks right. So we kind of mix it with sand, so it doesn't get that hard as a rock kind of thing. So that's the only thing I don't want to make sure I have a whole truckload of it sitting out there. So
I think if it went bad, I don't think anybody would cry.
no, probably not.
That means no snow, right?
Right, that's right. So a couple other things I was going to update you on. We've been working with the area plan on some unsafe structures in Jonesboro. We got one down and we're started on the second one today. I think we got 3 we're working on with them. Did talk to Mr. Leffler from auction, maybe looking at maybe a county auction the 1st of June kind of thing. So I kind of started to get that started. We got all of our plows cleaned up, repaired, and put away, and we're working on taking the sanders off. Been working on patching holes and cleaning bridges, getting all the salt and sand off of them for the summer. Some other things. I would like to know if it's all right if we go back April 7th to start our 4 10-hour day thing. That seems to work real well for us, Monday through Thursday. We get more done out on the job site, so we're not traveling back and forth. Just want to make sure you gentlemen are all right with that.
I'm good.
What day did you say?
April 7th.
Okay.
And that's kind of when I change over to taking my money out of my restricted fund for the employees. So it kind of works out to do it on the payroll altogether, if that's all right. So. And then the only thing else I did send you gentlemen an email on the stop sign ordinances that if you get a chance, look at them and let me know what you think on that. I'll get that started. So.
Can we talk about that publicly for a minute? The interchanges that Mr. White's requesting from a 3-way to a 4-way or a 2-way, I guess you'd say.
Right, yeah.
300 west and 200 south, 700 west and 200 south, 600 west and 200 south, 700 east and 100 north, Largo and EOO, Wheeling Pike and 900 east. Have you had any questions or comments or?
No, and I think when we talked the other day, like we said, some people are probably going to be for it, some people are going to be against it. And I talked to Mr. Poling there, 300 west and 200. We know that's quite a safety hazard when the Roseburg Event Center lets people out, because the people on 300 don't stop and the people on 200 do, and it's kind of confusing. So, and I know I talked to Shane about farther out on 200 south. All of our east-west roads out in that area kind of don't stop, like 9th Street, Swayze Road, but 38th Street does, and it's kind of backwards, I feel like. But I guess I want you gentlemen to look at it and kind of give me your opinion, what you You know, and I mean, I don't have a problem if we want to change them all the way around and make them stop the other way or whatever, but I just think that we need to do something. And I guess my personal opinion is if we do get these approved, what I'd like to do is do like, borrow EMA's lighted signs and put for like 2 weeks, and then move to another spot and do it 2 weeks, so they know that the traffic patterns changed. So.
Questions or comments?
I'd like to go check, if we could, I'd like to have a little bit of time to go drive out and check these out. I haven't had a chance to, I've seen it, I got your email, but I haven't had a chance to go take a look at them yet. But I'd like to do that, and then maybe,
Yeah, I need to
and then maybe the next meeting.
come on the agenda for the next meeting.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I have to bring up is myself and my road foremans and bridge foremans are planning on attending road school starting tomorrow at Purdue. We're not going to Vegas, so just going to road school for 3 days. So just to update you on that. So that's all I have, unless you don't have anything.
Can you give a quick update on the fuel tank?
Really, just kind of got some prices and numbers together and stuff. I did have another company that I seen in a magazine that we emailed the other day. It was just a picture and showed basically an island that had the tanks and all that. So I'm just going to try to get some prices on them they were out of state, but at least I could compare apples to apples. So.
Yeah, if you have any drawings available too, I know I'd like to see those. I know I did ask Mr. Connor.
Other counties I work with, Mr. President, use similar. The prices I checked with a few other highway engineers that I work with, I think that's across the board right now. It's an issue with that. I can get names for you, but a lot of the ones I use are similar things from what Mr. White has said too.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
We'll move on to old business, gentlemen. Before we get started with the old business, there's 2 items that I'm going to add to new business. Item number 8, Channel 27 agreement, and item number 9, Augusta Consulting agreement. But we'll go ahead and start. I see Mr. Glickfield here. I know he's busy today with court, so we're going to skip number 1 and go right to number 2 in old business, the revised solar ordinance proposal. Todd Glancy as well as Mr. Glickfield.
Thank you. Just to give you a brief background of the history of where we are, it became readily apparent to the Area Plan Commission last year that they needed to review the solar ordinance that was in effect at that time. So pursuant to the area-wide zoning ordinance, they had the ability to do that and then suspend the application process for 6 months. They did that by a resolution sometime in the middle summer, I believe it was in July. And then they began the process of having public hearings and taking recommendations on potential changes to the solar ordinance. I believe they had at least 3 public hearings where the public was invited, shared comment with the Area Plan Commission. Ultimately, then that led to the recommendations, which are contained in the form of a draft, almost ordinance form. It's really not ordinance form, as Connor will have a little bit of work to do with it, but the recommendations are all contained in here. The Area Plan Commission approved this at their last meeting and gave it a unanimous favorable recommendation then to pass on to you gentlemen. So we are here today to turn it over to you and then answer any questions you might have.
If I may, Mr. President, I want to thank Mr. Glickfield too. I know how much work has to go in this from a legal standpoint, so thank you for getting that done. I know it's a long process too. That's what I make sure I understand it correctly, Mr. Glickfield. So this is the recommendation. The commissioners need to accept the recommendation today, and then I will put it into the final ordinance form at a subsequent meeting with the correct public notices and everything. I just want to make sure that they understand that we would like them to make that official acceptance or approval of the work that you guys have done.
Yes.
Perfect. But no, thank you for putting this together. It's, like you said, it's in substantial form, but it's pretty close. Thank you.
Yeah, and I would be remiss without saying Ed Hartman and Randy Atkins did a tremendous amount of work on this. And frankly, Area Plan Commission just taking the time, having extra meetings, listening to the public, and the public participating in the process was great. They really had a lot of insight and helped the Area Plan Commission in the process. But yes, we're just turning this over today, ask you to accept the recommendations, and then you may do with it as you please after that.
Any questions from the members? Mr. Solomon, so the recommendation of this body is to accept the recommendation from the Area Plan Commission.
And authorize Justin and I to get this in Commissioner Ordinance format and to have it approved at a subsequent commissioner meeting. It probably won't be the next one, so we'll need to do it. It actually will not, because we need to do a 30-day, make sure we get in the papers and stuff, but it'll be within the next 2 meetings or so, I believe, Commissioner. But if you'd like to make a motion to accept the Area Planning Commission's recommendation and to move forward with creating a commissioner ordinance, I think that should be sufficient.
At this time, I think it'd be reasonable to open up for public comment prior.
If you, yes, sir.
So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and open the floor to public comment regarding the solar ordinance recommendation from the Area Plan Commission. I'll allow 2 minutes from each person. Come to the podium, state your name and your address.
My name's Dennis Carter. I live on Wheeling Pike, Fairmount. I recommend, we've put a lot of work into this thing for the last 2 or 3 years to get something that the community is satisfied with. And I attended the APC meeting. I thought the recommendations were good, and I highly recommend that the commissioners do enact this updated ordinance, because I think it does at least reflect the community's feelings on this matter. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments?
Hello, my name's Roy Cree. My address is 6724 North 75 East Uniondale, Indiana. I own property in Van Buren area. That's part of the solar project. So one of the things that I'm questioning, I guess, is how we're proceeding with this when we're supposed to be under moratorium. I don't understand how that can be the case, obviously, since you guys voted in a moratorium. The other thing was the resolution that Mr. Glickfield mentioned that gave the council 6 months. They exceeded that 6 months. I don't understand how we can exceed that 6 months and still move forward with this if it was a resolution that was limited to 6 months. I'm also concerned about notifications to the property owners. This is pretty far reaching as far as what the additional restrictions are on where the solar projects can go in, and I'm unaware of any notifications that have went to affected parties, which I thought is part of the requirements for the state or by the local government anytime there's a new ordinance implemented. Same way with the ordinance that was approved by the APC, that was never publicly posted before the discussion meetings. I believe at the last meeting, Mr. Glancy was still trying to get it posted after they voted on the ordinance. So the public hasn't been notified, nor were they able to comment on it. So all these things obviously make me concerned as a citizen that if you guys move forward with it, we probably are gonna, we probably shouldn't, right? Just because of those requirements. The other thing I will mention was I am concerned about conflict of interest. Mr. Middlesworth, I'd mentioned this to you earlier, as far as the farm ground that the solar companies lease, basically. Farmers are in direct competition with those lease prices. And I believe your family has connections to farming. So I am concerned about any conflict of interest that might create on your part. Probably won't change the vote, but if you could abstain, I think it'd save problems down the road too. So that's all I've got. Thank you.
Thank you.
You want me to, I can address his second question if you'd like real quick.
Just hold on. Thank you.
Go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
Is there any other public comment? Not all. Close the public comment if you want to address any of the issues.
Thank you. There's a lot of confusion on what we actually did. Again, we made recommendations pursuant to the area-wide zoning ordinance. For a period of 6 months, we did not accept applications. That obviously expired, and then I believe the commissioners put a moratorium in. So we did legally what we were supposed to do according to the area-wide zoning ordinance. We did not accept applications for a 6-month period. That's what we did. Hope that clarifies.
And to Mr. Glenfield's point too, the commissioners, the board of commissioners as the executive and the legislative body for Grant County are the ones that make the official decision for that. A moratorium is a legislative action. And it was adopted early this year to extend that moratorium, and the commissioners can remove or rescind or modify that moratorium as you guys see fit. So I don't see an issue with that either. And as far as the notice for this, we just got done talking about how this will have, the commissioner's orders will have to go through the appropriate 30-day notice or so. So that will be on in the paper. I apologize. Sorry. Yes, thank you. Sorry.
Connor, your professional opinion regarding the conflict of interest being
There's no conflict, sir. If that were a true conflict, then no farmer would be able to ever be an elected official when it comes as an executive or legislative position. You don't personally financially benefit for or against this, whatever it is. I don't see, it'd be different if there were, if you were a owner of a solar company or something like that, but otherwise I don't see a conflict, Mr. President, from a legal standpoint.
Any other questions or comments from the members? So the motion would be to accept the recommendation from the Area Plan Commission, authorize Mr. Connor, the attorney, to put it into an ordinance form, as well as Mr. Sadov's help as well. Anything else?
That's also, sir, thank you.
So moved.
I'll second. I have a motion from Commissioner Poling, a second from Commissioner Stewart to accept the recommendation of the Area Plan Commission regarding the solar ordinance, authorize Attorney Connor Sullivan to put it in the ordinance form. Any other questions from the members? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll move back to item number 1. Sorry to skip over you. The Interchange Feasibility Study. Christopher Kellner with BCS Management. Morning.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Christopher Kellner. I represent BCS Management. I'm the Director of Management Financial Consulting for the team. We're excited to get started with work once this proposal is accepted. Any questions?
I have no questions. So in a sense, for the public to know, this is a feasibility of such to study the Interchange 26 and I-69 and to whether, what sewer water utilities, what the impact would be, what the dollar cost is. And that's all.
Yeah, I think that summarizes it. I think you summed it up pretty well.
So if there's no questions or comments from the members, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve BCS Management's proposal for the feasibility study at 69 and 26.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Poling, a second from motion from Commissioner Stewart, a second from Commissioner Poling to approve the Interchange feasibility study with BCS Management. Are there any other questions from the members?
Thank you, Commissioners.
How quickly will you get started on this?
We can start right away, again, as soon as we have a signed proposal. Good work. Yep. And just on behalf of BCS, thank you. We've got 2 people who live locally in the community, so we drive all over the state to do work. It's good to do work at home. Thank you.
I'm looking forward to it.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll move on to new business. Item number 1, an MOU with Taylor University, invitation to health. Dr. Brenda Woods with the Health Department.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I've presented to you 3 MOUs, and I wondered if you want me to go through each one individually.
That'd be great.
Okay, so everyone understands, just in the room, these are monies that were given to us through the Health First Indiana initiative, which is meant to address the chronic medical needs of the citizens of Grant County. And part of that money needed to be allocated for community partnerships with organizations that are working towards meeting some of the health needs. You're probably aware that Grant County ranks poorly in the state as far as our general health. Out of 92 counties, we're 90th in life expectancy, and the higher the number, the worst. So people in Grant County live shorter lives than the average in our state. And Indiana, as a state, is at the lower 1/3 of health across the United States. So it really indicates the needs of the people of our county for support in pursuing better health. And so our first partnership, Taylor University has a program called Invitation to Health. And this program has been in existence for a while. And the possibility of this partnership was brought to us through our state representatives, Lori Gross-Reeves and Andy Zay, along with Dr. Lindsay Weaver, who suggested that Taylor reach out to us for a formal partnership. In Invitations to Health program, they bring in citizens from the county and the community to engage in a 6-month to 1-year program to address the issues of pre-diabetes, diabetes, and obesity. And this program has been in existence since 2018. And their numbers, as far as their outcomes, have been very good, showing people are losing weight, they're sustaining weight loss, and the numbers that reflect the control of their diabetes are improving. And so we would like to join them in this endeavor. They currently have served 200 residents of Grant County in this initiative, and they're seeing good success with health outcomes in this population.
Are there any questions regarding the Taylor MOU? Not for me. What percent of the funding has to be used jointly from the Health First, do you know?
What do you mean, used jointly?
Through, partnerships in the community?
I don't know that there's a specific, we have to use 60% of our funds for these key performance indicators, which relate to chronic disease management, premature death, smoking, obesity. So 60% of our monies have to be directed towards those initiatives.
Okay, 60%.
Dr. Woods, would you mind, I apologize, it might be helpful that if we could send a summary of the Indiana First Grants funds to the commissioners, just so that they have an idea of what they're used for. I know it's a pretty large incumbency program, but I don't know if you and your staff could just boil it down to them for them by chance. Is that possible?
Yeah.
Just going forward in the future.
And it's all, yeah, we have it, it's all.
You might already have that too.
Yeah, it's very readily available,
Yeah.
and we don't, at the beginning of the year, we emailed a report to all the commissioners on what we had done with Health First Indiana.
I think that just generally what you could use the money for going forward too. Maybe not what you've already done, so I think they're aware of that, but for what they could do going forward.
And a point I should make is this is leftover money from last year that we are required to disperse. We did not utilize our monies to the full extent last year. So these are 2024 monies. that we need to get into the community partnerships.
I believe the way the program works is you have to use the money from last year first
Yes.
before you use any
Yes.
money for this year.
Yes.
So, okay. If there's no other questions, we could proceed on with the next one.
Well, you're gonna approve them one at a time?
Or we have to?
No, I
I mean-
didn't know what you wanted.
You can do them all at once or individually, Mr. President.
Just go ahead and we can do them all at once.
Okay, the second MOU is for the Great Beginnings program, which addresses the issues of our infant mortality rate. 79 counties are tracked with infant mortality, and that is death of children 1 and under. 79 are tracked, we are rated at 72. So again, we fall very low on the list of premature death. We have 9.7 deaths per 1,000 live births. The state average is 6.7. Some of the contributing factors to the death of our babies are 17% of our pregnant women in the county smoke, which is directly related to the high infant mortality rate, and then our use of substance use disorder amongst our pregnant women. So the Great Beginnings program is a educational and interactive and provides resources for pregnant women in our county to try to bring our children into this world with better chances for life and survival in a healthy way.
This is money you're paying Marion Health.
The MOU is for Marion Health. They are our county person that runs this program.
How much did they invest?
I don't know. Well, they've been investing. I don't have that information.
So the Great Beginnings program is under Marion Health?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they've been running it for 5 years. They just received top awards for the outcomes of their program.
So they've been running it for 5 years. Why have now you just decided to give them some money?
They're able,
Sorry, go ahead.
they'll be able to offer additional resources.
Dr. if I may too, it's the Indiana First program is a relatively new program, is that correct too?
Yes.
So, yeah, I apologize, but it was, I think, was it last year, maybe the first year that this was available? Is
Yes,
that-
2024 was our first year, and there was really a very steep learning curve.
Yeah, as with every health department, yes. So that's possibly, and I'm just more thinking out loud, why the funds may not have, Grant County may not have supported it previously, but now that the funds are there, that's.
Right, yeah. Yeah, last year there was a lot of learning that we did on how to implement the resources we were given.
Thank you.
Is the Great Beginnings, it's part of MGH, but is it its own department?
It's its own entity related to the birthing services, but yet it extends well beyond what insurance covers. It's well beyond pure medical services. It's providing car seats. It's having classes that teach smoking cessation, incentives for women who don't smoke during pregnancy. It's much more than any reimbursable services that are provided through health insurance.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions regarding the MOU? You can proceed on, please.
Okay, and then the final is a relationship with Purdue Extension, the nutrition educational program. And what they've done in Wabash County that we've learned of is they have set up what's called impact pantries in every school. Every school system in our county has the opportunity to opt in. And what we will be doing is through Purdue Extension is setting up a impact pantry that will decrease food insecurity in school-aged children, also provide education on healthy eating. It will teach the schools how to maintain the stock in their food pantry It will also provide some hygiene supplies for students in the schools that may need them. So and this will be in coordination with our school nurse liaison, who's working closely with all the schools in the county. And so every school in Grant County will have the opportunity to have the refrigeration provided, and it'll be initially stocked, and they will have the education on how to maintain the food pantry.
Are there any questions regarding the Purdue MOU?
Have you reached out to the Grant County schools yet?
Yes, our school nurse liaison has been a very present person in the schools across Grant County.
And have they?
And they've expressed need and great desire to have this resource.
Okay, thank you.
I just think you should give more money to Purdue Extension for the children than you should for Marion Health and Taylor.
Well, it's for the children for sure. The
Children are the future.
beginnings. And Taylor is helping our agent population. A lot of the people they work with are age 60 and above. I'm above that age range, but we have to also look out for the well-being of our senior citizens in the county.
All three of these contracts have a 30-day out, correct?
I believe so, if I remember correctly.
Their terms are for 1 year, correct?
And, Dr. Woods, Mr. President, especially if these are 2024 money, if you do not use them, then the state will, likely, correct me if I'm wrong, they'll remove them. You also don't want that to hurt the amount that they would give going forward.
So you could also give it to some other organization
You
in the
possibly
county,
could.
correct?
You possibly, Commissioner, and that's, I do not know the ins and outs of that program, or this Indiana First program.
So how many dollars are left as far as that need to be
For
expended?
2024.
This will get rid of this will spend 2024 monies.
Any other questions or comments? I think that, obviously, I think they're all going to be good programs through anything we can do to help the constituents of our county to be healthier, right? But we want to see results. I mean, we're not sitting up here, we're not elected just to hand out money and not see results. So I think for me, I want to make sure that whatever we're doing with dollars, that they're being, we're holding those entities accountable. I think that's what it matters, because I mean, you said, how long have we been the most unhealthiest county, right? And, we only have one, in a sense, healthcare provider of the county. And we got to do whatever we can from a county's perspective to make sure that the dollars we spend are actually being a benefit and not just another salary, not another friend getting a job, that they're actually making an impact. And so I think that a year from now, or 6 months from now, that we want to gauge to see that we're making a difference. And if we're not making a difference, that we're going to adjust and pivot and do something else. Yes. But I commend you for the health department for bringing these to us. Obviously, that we want our constituents to be healthy.
Is the chair ready for a motion?
I'm ready for a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve all three MOUs as presented by Dr. Woods.
I'll second it. I have a motion from Commissioner Stewart, a second from myself to approve all three MOUs regarding the health department. Any other questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign.
No.
One no. Motion carries. Thank you. Next item under new business, item number 4, community correction grant review. Chris Cunningham with community corrections.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm here to present the Community Corrections Grant in 3 categories that we have for your approval. And I put these in just kind of a grant summary to pass down to you so that you have a chance to look at them. Chuck is the representative from the commissioners on the Community Corrections and the local JRAC board. So he's had a chance to see it, I think, before maybe you guys had a chance to see it. But so the requests are for 3 areas. The Community Corrections Grant for $1,605,536, and that covers our electronic monitoring that we offer and also our day reporting that we do for high-risk need offenders in the community. And it also covers field officers that do supervision of those individuals in the late evening and early morning of those people. So that's one section of the grant. The other section is the Court Recidivism Reduction Program and Reentry Court. And what that covers is those individuals that come back from the Department of Corrections. We transition those individuals through intensive supervision and case management. And those individuals then are transitioned back into the community, hopefully eventually then back onto probation. We've had a great deal of success with the program, and we're pretty happy with it. Our other section of that is a jail screening person that also looks at those individuals that are in jail. And if we have the opportunity to move them out, they transition then to electronic monitoring, or if they have a probation sentence, we also transition those individuals out. And the third grant is the Jail Treatment Grant. And this is a grant that covers treatment within the Grant County Jail, 2 specific areas: MRT, which is a substance abuse program, moral recognition therapy. That covers 2 groups for that. And then we also have a seeking safety group, which covers mental health, but a focus on trauma for female offenders that are in the jail. We offer 2 groups for that. These are all grant funds. Everything that we operate under the community corrections side of that. We also supplement these grant funds with our project income, which are fees that are paid for participating in those programs. So while you're seeing a request here of $1,311,078, it's actually closer to about $1,900,000 with the fees that are contributed to run the program. So answer any questions you might have. The process for this is it's been approved by the board. The step now is for it to be approved by the commissioners, and then authorization for Angie to sign the contract once it comes in. Obviously, if there's less money that's awarded or there's a change that happens, I'd obviously bring that back to the board and the commissioners for a change or authorization. So again, like I said, answer any questions you might have.
We've done this in the past, correct? I mean, this is...
Since 1985.
So for a little while then.
Yeah, for a little while. It's changed in format, Commissioner. It's been on a fiscal year before. It's been on a 2-year cycle before, but now we're on an annual cycle. So the grant's been the same. The process has changed somewhat. And then what I do is once, just two for you that maybe might be new or may not understand it, is that once it's done here and it is approved, then we go in the fall when we have the county council meetings and we get the budgets then approved through there and get copies to Angie. So everything that we do, she has a copy of, so we can proceed on. So just giving you a little review there.
None of these grant requests are supplemented by the commissioner's budget?
No, sir.
If there's no other questions, I entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. We approve these as presented by Mr. Cunningham.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Stewart, a second from Commissioner Poling to approve, to accept the 3 grants, General Community Corrections Grant, Court Recidivism Reduction Program, Reentry Court, and the Jail Treatment Program, as well as we need to authorize
The auditor
to sign the contract.
And then I think there's a support letter I need to include in my grant, but I think Justin has has it all taken care of for you to sign.
Are there any other questions? No, sir. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you,
guys
sir.
have a great day.
Next, under new business, item number 5, the professional consulting service agreement with Municipal Civil Corporation. I know he's not going to be here today.
Commissioner, or Mr. President, the last time you met, I provided, Justin and I provided the municipal, Municipal Civil Corporation comments, and it does appear that they have incorporated those comments. So from a legal standpoint, there's no other issues I can see at this point in time. I would leave it to your guys' discretion whether you'd like to move forward with this, but from a legal standpoint, it addressed my issues that I identified previously.
And just so everyone's aware, this is to enter into an agreement with Municipal Civil Corporation to design, construct, and be the on-site overseers of a building out at the EMS, which would be a training facility. It'd be a barn-type structure out at Garthwaite at the EMS building. As you know, may have not known that the building burnt and the fire insurance proceeds are going to be used to build this building. Currently, the EMS is not able to have training classes for their EMTs. So we're looking at a nice training facility with classroom training. And I think it would be great as well for the firefighters of the county, centralized training area. But this is what this agreement is discussing. Are there any questions from the members? None from me, Mr. President. If there's no questions or comments, I entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Stewart, a second from Commissioner Pulling to approve the agreement for professional services with Municipal Civil Corporation as presented. Any other question? Are there any other questions from the members? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next, under new business, item number 6, an interlocal inmate agreement, Wabash County. Del Garcia, the sheriff's here.
Mr. President, members, commissioners, thank you for having me here this morning. What we're wanting to do is add Wabash County to one of the areas where we house inmates. Currently, we're doing it at 2 locations. One of them is about an hour away. This will make it a little bit closer for us to be able to transport inmates there and bring them back for court. I'll answer any questions that you may have.
Mr. Sullivan, you've reviewed this agreement as well.
Correct, Mr. President, it's good to go. That's correct. Just remind me, we just need to add the Grant County Council signature page and the Wabash County Council signature page as well. But for you guys to sign it today, that would be appropriate action today.
So it's an interlocal agreement between Wabash County and Grant County regarding the housing of inmates. And it looks like we're going to pay $40 a day.
That's the going rate at the other facilities, is that correct?
Yes. Except for the state. When you send them up to DOC, they charge you more than that.
Yeah.
And they pay us a lot less if we house their inmates. So.
No, we're not really paying any.
Yeah, right now they're not even paying us at all. So.
Yeah.
Sheriff, I appreciate your collaboration with the other sheriffs of the county, and anything we can do to get them closer to save your time of your employees is great. The fee's fine. So I'm looking for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Poling, a second from Commissioner Stewart to approve the interlocal agreement between Wabash County and Grant County regarding the housing of inmates. Are there any other questions from the members?
Yes, sir.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Mr. President, I just want to thank you guys for all the work you guys are doing with us. And definitely thank you for this. It's going to save us some time on the road. And we just look forward to continue working with you guys to try to get our population down to a reasonable place. So thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to an agreement with Channel 27 News.
Yes, Commissioner, this, Mr. President, this is an agreement for helping with marketing or social media, PR type services. This will help get out more information to the general public of what Grant County has going on. This will help with the Grant County Facebook page and other social media pages. I think you all three were at the Indiana County Association of County Commissioner meeting this end of 2024. I think it's safe to say that all county commissioners have said that one of the best things they did was hire a firm such as Channel 27 to help with the PR and the marketing so that the general public is more aware of what is going on. It is my understanding that Channel 27 has a large social media following as well, so that will help amplify what you guys are doing. Any questions, comments, or concerns, Mr. President?
I have none. Is there a motion?
So moved. I'll second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Poling, a second from Commissioner Stewart to approve the agreement with Channel 27 News as presented. Are there any questions from the members?
This is a what? Is this a 1 year?
1 year.
Yes, sir.
1 year. And it covers all the county offices, the health department, the highway, the EMS, the EMA.
Everything Grant County related, Mr. President.
Are there any other questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And we'll move on to item number 9, Augusta Consulting.
Yeah, Mr. President, this is, I'm sorry, I guess he's here, you can explain better.
You can go ahead. You're doing good.
You go ahead.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Brad Bookout with Augusta Consulting. It's a pleasure to be before you this morning. I've provided a proposal, a draft proposal for international company attraction to assist the county. Augusta Consulting has had incredible success in this space. I know that you're aware of our work. You've seen some of it in person. Happy to address questions that you have. Long and the short of this is with the current Trump tariff plan that we're all inundated with news about on our social media or our news feeds, it's pretty evident that we're going to likely have new international foreign investment in the United States. We can help put Grant County at the forefront of that. One of the first orders of business with this is to participate, Grant County, at the annual Department of Commerce Select USA conference that's held annually just outside of Washington, D.C. That's an event whereby foreign companies from all over the world who are looking to come to the United States come and they meet with different municipalities from everywhere. Every state is represented. Many counties and cities across the nation are represented. And frankly, Grant County is ripe and should be represented at that event. So there is a 90-day trial period in this. So, it would be reviewed after 90 days to ensure that you're happy with our services and want to continue. And there is also a 30-day out too. So there's good opportunities for us to collaborate, work together, make sure the working relationship is good. I'm happy to answer any questions that you've got. But pending your approval and legal review and everything, we're ready to get started to gain some momentum for August 1st start date. I'm sorry, April 1st start date. August a little farther out. April 1st.
Mr. Sullivan, you've reviewed the agreement.
Correct, Mr. President. No issues from a legal standpoint, sir.
Are there any questions for the members? No, sir. If not, I'd entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Poling, a second from Commissioner Stewart to approve the Augusta Consulting Agreement for Grant County regarding economic development. Are there any other questions from the members? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign.
Thank you, Commissioners. We'll get some momentum built and get things going.
Let's put us on the map.
There you go. We'll do it. You'll certainly be inundated with emails and communications from our staff. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you. I believe that concludes the new business. Do you gentlemen have anything else you'd like to add? Yes, sir.
Just one, on Channel 27 for all our people that work for us, you guys can advertise Highway Department, Health Department, every department need anything out there, you can contact them and get it advertised.
Definitely going to be used as a tool to help, job recruitment, helping, our departments, what's going on in your department. We're going to try to blast social media to put Grant County, have a face and a voice and keep our constituents up to date on what's going on in the county. I think over the years we've failed that. I mean, Chronicle Tribune subscriptions have gone down. Other, paper media has gone down, and this is as a way for us to be out there. And I think it'll be a good tool that we need to use. So appreciate it, Commissioner Pulley. Attorneys, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
No, Mr. President, I do not believe so at this point in time. I think we covered everything today.
We'll be in recess.